to the New Orleans Saints. At points last night, it felt brutal for Tom Brady. I mean, at points, I felt like I was watching the old NFC Championship with Brett Favre and the Vikings, where this old man is just getting abused. That is elder abuse, what that Saints defensive line did to Brady last night. Also, Tom Brady is probably a psychopath when things are going that bad. He looked so crazy in the face, like someone who definitely thinks about skinning people when he's upset. It was disturbing all around. Okay, boys, you give me one thing. We're going to do a little SVP. One big thing. What is the one thing above all else that you loved in last night's game? Ooh, I like Cortland Jacobs, DJ Arians. He does kind of look like a DJ. Okay, the one thing, though, that you loved above everything else. Musa, you can start.
Goal line stand.
Okay.
And NBC even put the graphic up on the screen right before it all happened that Tampa Bay had not missed a touchdown in a goal-to-go situation on the season, and the Saints had not prevented a touchdown in a goal-to-go situation on the season, and then they did it. That's been the problem for the Saints all along this year. Yeah. Their biggest issue has been red zone defense and giving up touchdowns on 83% of opponent trips or whatever it is, and they stopped them 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
No points were scored.
And don't look now, but to your point, Moose, and we kind of talked about it in the break, but like if they can get that element fixed, the Saints secretly are the 3rd best total defense in the NFL. Like they're only giving up 310 yards per game. Now the scoring defense leaves a lot to be desired because of what Moose was talking about, the red zone struggles. They're 14th there, but they're 3rd. Only giving up 310 yards a game. So if you can get red zone issues hammered out, even to the point where, like, you don't have to be great in the red zone, but just don't be last in the league. And then this is a top 10 defense. Danny, favorite thing from last night's game?
I'm going line play, both offense and defense. They just impose their will on offense, just shoving the ball down the.
And that's a good front seven, dude.
Yeah, a really good front seven. And their defensive line just got after Tom Brady, with Hendrickson still showing out, having one of his best seasons ever. Yeah, the Saints, whenever the Saints dominate on O-line and D-line, it's just all day long. Saints.
Yeah, I'm with you. So if I'm just being honest, although I think that Ethan is probably right here. He says Jameis eating the W is the only answer to this question. No. You are correct. Him eating the W both in the post-game interview and then hitting it with the beat in the post-game celebration in the locker room, fantastic. That said, I think mine is adjacent to yours, Danny. I loved a lot about his game. I love the fact that Jared Cook could fumble the ball into the end zone and it didn't matter. Like, as he's going into the end zone, it could have been even worse. He fumbled, didn't matter. But by far, my favorite thing would be related to the D-line, and it is Marcus Davenport, and I get it. He didn't have the biggest stat day. Maybe compare. I mean, he did tip the ball that Onyemata ends up picking off. Hendrickson ends up with the sacks. I think Cam maybe had a sack as well. I don't even know if Marcus Davenport had a sack, actually.
I don't think that he did.
But it's just it's the impact that he has. It's the same thing that you saw out of Mike Thomas yesterday. When these guys are at their full strength, we're finally seeing what we thought we may at the beginning of this year. Who do you block when Marcus Davenport's playing like that? Are you going to commit the chip to him and then go one-on-one with Cam Jordan? Are you going to let Cam Jordan go one-on-one? And then you got Trey, and then you can always bump Davenport down to the inside or Cam to the inside. You got Trey Hendrickson off the edge as well. Onyemata continues to get better and better and better. I mean, Sheldon Rankins is out for the short-term IR. He'll be back. He's had a great year. Malcolm Roach made play. Like the defensive line yesterday was fantastic. And we've talked about elite quarterbacks all throughout today's show, right? How do you beat elite quarterbacks? With elite defensive line play. And so if you're looking for, because Danny, you've been hammering this. You've been saying the Saints are a Super Bowl contender. And I haven't always supported you throughout this year, okay? I know I said I did before the show, but you're right, okay? I've thought about it. I haven't always supported you. And, because objectively, I thought they had to prove some things. But they are proving them. And when you talk about the elements that make you a championship contender, certainly you have to be better in the red zone. But it is having a pass rush that can get home with 4. And so if Davenport and Cam Jordan can keep up this consistency, which they've shown in the rest of that defensive line, then all of a sudden, I don't care who it is, right? How did the Chargers contain Pat Mahomes when they almost beat them earlier this year? Because they got pressure with 4. And so that is a huge element when it comes to being a championship team. And I love that it was so clearly on display last night. And in the end now, your New Orleans Saints, 6-2, winners of 5 in a row now, beating a very hot Tampa Bay Buccaneer team handily. You 2-0 them. You sweep him. Get out of here. Now, you may still see him in the playoffs again. So let's just, I know Saints fans would be a bit terrified by that prospect. And eerily enough, the first prediction that we read on this show was of the Saints winning both regular season games before going on to lose the playoffs. So we'll see. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Bottom line right now is the Saints look like, well, I was going to say a top 3 team in the NFC. Who are the top teams in the NFC right now?
Well, the
Seahawks took a definite hit.
The top 3 teams in the NFC right now are all 6-2, and they're the New Orleans Saints, Seattle Seahawks, and Green Bay Packers.
And you don't feel nearly as good about the Seahawks because of the defense. Y'all have been on this since day one.
Bad.
The defense is really bad. Even with Jamal Adams returning yesterday, it didn't mean much. And it didn't mean anything, actually. Josh Allen just dominated
4 Bills for Josh Allen yesterday.
God, how about the Bills, though, dude? But I don't want to get distracted. So if we're talking best teams in the NFC, right now, after yesterday's result on prime time in Tampa, that can't be lost either in all of this. The only team that I'll accept an argument for would be the Packers being better.
Yeah.
Saints own the tiebreaker for all 3 of those teams.
Well, but the problem is the Packers won the head-to-head against the Saints, right?
Packers have 2 NFC losses. Saints only have 1 NFC.
So that doesn't. So that tiebreaker trumps the head-to-head.
The Saints right now are the 1 seed in the NFC.
And they would have a bye week if the playoffs started right now.
Because they lost to the Raiders.
Oh my God, no way. I'd be so ticked if I won the head-to-head and then you lose like some random NFC record tiebreaker. Okay. Hey, there you go. Saints, best team in the NFC. You heard it here first. OTB, OT. All right, when we get back. So normally this is where we do T-Bob's game takes, and we would go deep into the LSU film. Instead today, I want to start working this in weekly because it's one of my favorite articles. So we'll see how it goes today, but I want to get into Chris Vanini's 19 college football stats from the weekend that are just, the 19 most interesting numbers, and it'll just kind of inform college football as a whole. All right, when we get back, we got more, so hang around here on OTB. Oh, also, if you want to let me know what your favorite part of last night's Saints game, I'd love to see everybody's perspective. So hit us up here on OTB OT. Be back more next.
OTB OT.